Welcome to Margo show. Today we have Elina Graypel with her band, and she is going to introduce all these amazing musicians. Okay, Elina.
Thank you. I am Elina Graypel, and I'm playing today with my favorite people in the world. First one, I'm playing with Art. Art is not just a drummer. He's a composer himself. He has many big bands that are so inspiring that I come and watch so many times just to get an inspiration, to get the crazy feel of what music should sound like. This honest sound of trumpets and trombones, with his amazing writings, with the background. I don't even know where the background. Just the fact that he studied composition in Berkeley is something that I would probably dreamed about. So that's my Art. And if we were at the concert right now, I would ask for big applause. But you know, we're not at the concert. We're at television. So, and
Bravo. I like his name, Art.
Art, yeah. And I play with Sasha. Sasha is my everything. Sasha is the one who sits down and plays his musical instruments. Sasha is a Renaissance man who plays so many different instruments. So when he sits down and play accordion, or when he sits down and play a little bit of bass or a little bit of a guitar, I cannot just not write music. So Sasha is my greatest inspiration, and I'm fortunate to be able to drag him today to your show. Thank you so much for having us. And we talked about what we're going to talk about, and I think it would be good to start with the poetry and where that comes from.
Yes,
because
interesting.
For the longest time, if we talk about my art, not that art, but my own art, I was a poet, and I always wanted to be a poet. You know, when the parents are asking you what you want to be when you grow up. I was saying I want to be a poet, and my mom was like, no, please, just find a real profession and then be a poet. And then I said, how about Brodsky? How about Akhmatova? Because I come from, I'm from Belarus. I'm from a white Russia, as we call it in those days. And what about those fantastic artists? And they're like, they're just, they're poets. You do your thing. You do your art. On the side, and have a real job. So my real job was a poet from the childhood.
When did you start it? When?
I started when I was about 6 or 7 years old.
Oh.
I really fell in love with Lermontov, but I figured, I wanted to say his poetry to people. I want to read it. I want to tell it, but I wasn't greatest on remembering things. So I rewrote it. I started rewriting all the Lermontov there was, rewriting all the poems, and finally I rewrote the complete poetry of Lermontov, bring it to people, and they thought I'm crazy. Of course, 6, 7 years old girl could not rewrite something that would be remotely talented. And when I was getting these big no-nos, please don't do that again. Don't read Lermontov. Do the original version. Use your own memory. And I was like, so you don't want to hear me writing Lermontov? I'm going to do it so well one day.
Probably people don't know who is Lermontov, so you have to tell that he's a great, great Russian poet.
He was the greatest Russian poet, and one of my favorite Russian poets. His melodical poetry is so deep and thoughtful. He was a young man, but somehow the talent of the wisdom gave this young man a greatest words, and that was my first love, Lermontov. So, of course, nobody wanted to hear 6 years old reciting their own poetry of Lermontov, kind of like a remake, as we say these days, of Lermontov. And I said to everyone one day that I'm going to write so well that I'll be the next one.
Absolutely.
I'll be the next one. I'm not
Absolutely.
going to be Lermontov, and I'm not going to be Anna Akhmatova, but I would like to be a next one in line because the generations change, people change, life goes on. And with the life that's going on and on and on, we can use another poet in life. So that became my true passion and true profession.
Okay.
Now, although the music took place, but
So
the
can
poetry.
we hear your poetry?
Yeah. Usually I'm from Belarus, so my main language is I speak Russian, and my poetry is in Russian. But I do write in English because I love
Belarus
America.
is White Russia,
White
right?
Russia, yes. America is my country. It's been my country for all of these years, and I'm grateful with all of these differences that we had from the past to the future, and I'm grateful to everything that I have. So my English poetry is a bit limited by my accent, but sometimes the accents speak through your heart. So this is what it is. If blue was the warmest color, why do I feel so cold, expecting all things to fade, become common when the time spent changes from young to old? If blue was the warmest color, why do I feel so blue, like I'm some kind of scholar looking for homework to do? In actuality, we see shadows instead of colors of night and day. But when the night falls and the day mellows, there's only one real color in between of happiness and a gray. Happiness and a gray. They say we fall in love,
Beautiful.
but I think I'm rising. Changes, build a foundation, and maybe this time I'll be better, wiser. A new day is a chance for a fresh start, and with that comes a balance of mind and a heart. They say we get blinded. We can only see parts of what happened in reality, but I choose that blindness any day over cruelty, repression, and pain. Cruelty, repression, and pain. Cruelty, repression, and pain. And all that I can say at the end, that every poet prays love over and over again, taking a chance of saying a cliche in every line, because if you know how to love, you know how to speak your mind. And if you're strong enough not to let it pass, that you know in life there's only two real choices. It's love and death. It's love and death. It's love and death. You do the math. It's love and death. If you haven't woke up in the middle of the night, you live in nightmares during the day, befriending shadows, running from light, saying hi to fears, and always running away. And we're constantly tired and wondering why. In case of serenity, we end up in a lie, praying for spirits to tell us what to do simply because our dreams came through. But I refuse to confuse my awakeness with living. That's not why we're here. That's not why we're breathing. And I cannot let anyone breathe for me. So when I go to bed, I enter the world of free. Good night, everyone. I cherish and love. Goodbye. Forget all your worries. Give in to the night and peace. Let Mamachka sing you a lullaby. And may you wake up from nightmares into dreams, from nightmares into dreams, from nightmares into dreams.
Very, very beautiful.
In a world of pop, we're popping pills to support the pharmaceutical bills, to accept the reality of medical real and the fact that I'm a woman who lives on the pill. I'm a child of a father with a weak heart who wasn't afraid to let himself feel. He was always together and always apart. My father lived and died on the pill. My mother goes to bed every night screaming like she's mad, and all of that because her dreams are too light of all of the medications she had. But her illness is so wide that I pray every day for her to be safe, for her to be at least medically right, so I can have her for at least one more day. One more day. But then I fell in love with the poetry so much. And since I do have this heritage of a heart that I bring with me, I decided that if I work for Russian people and if I live in America, I have to make sure they understand every word that American people say, to make this cultural bridge that we're lacking so much, because there's so much misunderstanding in our countries, and I don't want that misunderstanding happen. So I started translating greatest American writers, great American poets. I started translating them in Russian, and just to kind of bring up the poetry from a different side and perspective, I'm gonna sing Hallelujah. It's by the greatest poet, Leonard Cohen. Аккорд мне кто-то показал, что Бог божественным назвал, но ты, не поминай об этом всуе. Царя Давида тот аккорд, и в нем звучат падение, взлет и поиск, поиск, аллилуйя, 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 аллилуйя. Ты верил, но так много слов. Однажды встретил ты любовь, она купалась в лунном поцелуе. Она взяла тебя с собой, и крылья забрала с собой, снесла твой трон под стоны. Аллилуйя. Аллилуйя. только мог, я в каждом видел свой урок. И жизнь прожить свою, а не иную. И перед Богом я стоял, но стержнем песню я держал, любви, правды песню. Аллилуйя, 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 I really wanted for Russians to understand what this music is all about. But we're back to my American stuff. I was a poet all my life. At some point I discovered the guitar and I couldn't stop playing. It was a crazy, crazy thing. We lived in White Russia, Belarus. We lived next to traveling gypsies. And traveling gypsies are always come and go and come and go. And I was so fascinated by how cool they are, how beautiful they are, how shiny they are. So I saw them play the guitar one day, and I had a guitar. My brother had a guitar, so I brought my guitar. And this guy, my first teacher, he's like, no, you don't ever play. You don't ever pick up the guitar again, because you can't play. You shouldn't play. And I said, why? Because he said, because you can't. Look at your little hands. You would never be able to play guitar well. And I told him, I said, you know what? If you think I'm not good enough, make me better. While you come and go all the time, so just stay for a minute. I'll be your reason. Teach me. And he thought I was nuts. He thought I was completely crazy. But he said, okay, well, if the little kid wants to learn how to play guitar, I'll play the guitar. I had a lot of journey with my guitar, but I remember my very first show in America. I was 17 years old, and I've never performed before. And I just started writing in English because I just wanted to write one of the good songs in English. I think English language can use one more song for me, one more good song for me. And I was 17, and they told me there's this open mic, you should go there. So I go to this open mic, and it's a reggae open mic. It's completely the only non-reggae singer, and I'm plain as a wall, and everybody's looking at me thinking, what is this girl doing here? And I'm scared so much. And I figured, I'm here already. So I walked on the stage, and they were all talking. It's a bar. Everybody's talking in a bar. And so they were talking. And, I was on the stage, and they were talking. And I was like, well, I'm going to make you stop talking. Because art is for listening. So this is my very, very first song in English. Every night I'm walking in my sleep. I don't know why, but I feel my pain is very deep. My fears are coming to me, and all over I see eyes of a moonless night. But then I feel myself as a part of the world. I'm a child, but I'm a bird in the sky. And then I see my fears are going away, and I'm telling myself, wake up and fly. every day I'm running to my place. All my life on the stage I have a street of rage. My fears are coming to me, and all over I see eyes of a moonless night. But then I feel myself as a part of the world. I'm a child, I'm a bird in the sky. And then I see my fears are going away. And I'm telling myself, wake up and fly.
Very nice, beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely great music.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was my very first song. And then there was a journey. There was
When did you write this?
I wrote this when I was 17 years old.
Oh,
This
boy.
was my very first song in English. And from that time, there were so many. The life brought me to on tours all over the United States. I've played with incredible artists. My greatest inspiration was Chuck Berry. When I shook his hand, I thought I couldn't breathe. And his advice in life was just incredible. But songs are songs, and the way you write them, it's goofy sometimes because they scream at you. Sometimes you're looking at Sasha playing his instrument. Sometimes art is dragging you and saying you need to keep it better. You need to keep your style a little better, and you know, this beat does not go after that one, or this A minor song cannot have another A minor after it. So songs are coming in goofy ways. So this song, I want to dedicate, Margo, to you and your wonderful show.
Thank you very much. This is great.
Newspaper in the window, my view is blocked, I see Middle East under attack, and GPS creeping up in the A-team band, and it's gotta be stopped. And the Yankees today, they go force, bats go silent, and Arnold ropes a record in the window. Exhibit his mind, he's giving me fake newspaper smile. But I was burned in the middle of a forest with a lot of rivers where there's snow and rain. And I was burned, searching for meaning, little thing to call feelings, feeling pain. And I'm running whenever I feel like walking, whenever I feel together, whenever I feel right. And I'm smiling whenever I feel like crying, and in every dark corner I'm searching for light, I'm searching for light. Thank you for having us, Margo. Thank you so much. We're so happy to be here. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful music. Thank you.
My name is Elina Graypel, art leader.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our time is over. Our time is over. Please come back.